From karate sessions to hangouts between the younger and older cast, some of Cobra Kai's behind-the-scenes moments are simply unforgettable. Several interesting scenes in Season 5 ranged from flashbacks to even more dangerous situations. In one of the flashback scenes, fans saw Terry Silver using his wealthy influence to fly himself and John Kreese to learn their karate style, Tang Soo Do, directly from the source. Shooting these scenes that have local pots set up and a kid peeking was an interesting one to shoot, but it wasn't easy. Having the camera focused on young Kreese, Barrett Carnahan, while he fights and kicks Terry with a little child watching him from behind the pots, almost made him lose his balance. However, after a few takes and cuts, this scene emerged as one of the show's best flashbacks. On the other hand, Kreese did a lot while he was in prison trying to be a good person. Because he was pretending to be on good behavior, other prisoners took him for granted. And when the act didn't work out for him, he showed them his real self. The scene had the older Kreese beating up the other inmates, but with the body of the younger Kreese. And just like that, it was in the scene. The behind the scenes showed Kreese taking up his prison mates and slamming them on the walls and floors. The fight was so real as Barrett went all out, and the actors who played the prisoners wouldn't have escaped without bruises. So they were getting cut and bruised in Season 5 scenes, but they were getting the same behind the scenes. And if it wasn't for a filming set, many fans would have thought this act was real and intentional. As rigorous as the training sessions are behind the scenes of this show, they are also made in a very funny way. One of the best moments had Una O'Brien trained by kicking hard and long at what looked like an X-ray of a leg. Whether it's an X-ray of her foot or not, it's funny to see that. It could be some sort of motivation for the actress to push hard and not be afraid, even if it means kicking her legs. The Kim Da-eun scenes in which the girls are training also get the highlights, as it shows how these actresses went all out to give their best. Knowing Dimitri for how he's always held back, his training behind the scenes was also among the best because the actor was very straightforward with it. He was a different person from Dimitri, who had explanations for everything and was all about showing off his karate moves. The cast trained everywhere possible, from inside the buildings to tents and even the open fields. Fun wasn't limited on the set of Cobra Kai at all, especially during training, as there was enough of it to go around. While they were all at each other's throats in the pool of Season 5, it was a fun spot and a time for the younger cast to hang out. When the camera wasn't in their faces, they were rolling in a swim ring and sliding down the pool. However, they only have fun when they are done with filming the serious scenes, because there's the need to be in action before filming. One of the scenes that had Amanda involved in a bar fight with her daughter and Jessica was a fun but serious situation. Fans have praised how Cobra Kai was able to bring back Jessica from the Karate Kid by making her Amanda's cousin. They had so much fun together when Amanda visited her hometown, and they were faced with rivals from when they went to high school. The plot behind the scene had Amanda and her daughter kick the trouble-finding ladies to the ground. In the scene, they later ran out of the bar giggling and all happy. It was one of the best filming moments for these actresses. Another surprising moment for Cobra Kai was when fans saw Tyron Woodley make an appearance. The UFC star didn't only perfect his role as one of the senseis Terry recruited to train his students, but he also had some cool moments with the other cast on the show. He went from signing the gloves of some members of the crew to playing and being choked by Joe Seo, who portrayed Kyla. Tyron did have a great time, as his presence on the show made the cast very happy. The cast also enjoy each other's company by playing games, and one that stood out was the Tortilla Slap Challenge with Xolo Maridueña and a crew member. Seeing Xolo and his challenger having a hard time holding onto the water in their mouths was a real one. They could hardly even concentrate because they were still trying to hold on to the laughter being on the set of Cobra Kai had afforded them. Going over 3 different generations coming together to make Cobra Kai is exciting, but what's even more exciting is the chemistry these casts share while filming on set. Unknowingly to the cast, this has helped a great deal in making Cobra Kai an effortless show. Before the show even started, the cast already showed that friendship and family relationships would make the making of Cobra Kai successful. Mary Mouser said she was surprised to get a personal phone call from Ralph Macchio when she got the role to play Samantha, which had Ralph welcoming her to the LaRusso family. Mary later narrated saying she could barely hold on to the excitement while on the phone because she was so surprised and anxious at the time of the call. She admitted to being nervous throughout the conversation to the point where she nearly cried. It's lovely seeing how the older generation had treated them, Mary and her colleagues. They had to learn karate, and they tried to help the other teens who later joined the show too. Una, who played Devon Lee, mentioned how much she enjoyed filming the show. She said being on the Cobra Kai set would be her very first experience, and she was so happy that she came out quite impressive despite it being her first. Griffin Santopietro, who played Anthony, also commented on the amazing amazing role Una played. He said, "I think for Devon especially, having Asian representation on this show is super important. Devon is a fierce competitor, and she challenges that stereotypical notion of Asian girls being weak and submissive." Now, seeing how Kenny always looks up to Robbie in the show, fans might agree that's because it's part of the script. But behind the scenes as well, Dallas Young, who plays Kenny, mentioned how he's been looking up to Tanner Buchanan, who portrays Robbie. And the funny thing is, their behind-the-scenes moments are obvious in their screenplay. Dallas said Tanner understands what it means to be a teenager on set and was always the best person to talk with about the script. With how natural this chemistry comes behind the scenes, the fans can hardly tell most of them met on the set of Cobra Kai. While in a studio to shoot some tudum pictures in karate poses, the younger cast had a fun time playing in coloured powder. Una took the role of cheerleader and encouraged most of them to take poses and also led in the playing of games. She also threw a few kicks that made Dallas tease her, saying he'd love to be her when he grows up. Xolo later took a step back to admire the strength of the young actors on set. He expressed his pride, saying that while it took him a long time to learn karate and fit into Cobra Kai, he was pleased that many of the younger guys did so quickly. Xolo said, "It's amazing to watch them. Not that I understand how Billy and Ralph feel at all, but there is a sense of wonderment that I've been watching Dallas and Una because they're so mature for their age." And to make this even more right, Jacob Bertrand, who portrays Hawk, agrees. He mentioned that he's always been the youngest on the sets he's always been on, but having older mentors and younger mentees was a whole new level for him, and it made for a very amazing experience. Jacob also enjoys showing the younger cast around, especially how the older actors have taught him. Mary is even happier that her on-screen rivalry with Peyton List ended in season 5. Having to always shout hateful words at each other when they're indeed friends who hang out together when they aren't filming is one thing she's happy to get over with. If you think Peyton didn't have a hard time as much as she did behind the scenes, then you will be shocked. The scene that had Tori break a marble brick was the hardest for her, as she mentioned she cried during filming just so she could get it right. The younger cast went on to talk about the finale fight and how they only knew a little about it during filming. They were all involved in the fight and said the scene took so long to film. Of course, it was a long night of battle. When you think you've seen all the fun these cast members have had together, wait till you hear about their interviews together. Vanity Fair recently hosted the main older and younger cast of the show to see how well they know themselves. And you will be surprised, they know a lot about each other. They talked about each other's talents, what they love spending their money on, their favourite filming moments, and more without missing at all. With laughs and smiles, it was obvious this cast didn't just get together professionally to work and leave. They are more like family and besties now. And as Sean Cannon, who plays Mike Barnes, put it after filming season 5 when he said, "That's my last day filming and I had a great experience. It's a shame to see it come to an end, but I'm going out with a bang." So, truly, just as Cobra Kai is a bang, it also is behind the scenes. Did you enjoy seeing this? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching.